Let me tell you something, most morning fitness routines are a bunch of lies. They either fall into the category of super ridiculous to less ridiculous. I just don't think they're applicable and relatable to most people. And this morning I came across something very authentic, very real from James Smith. He makes a lot of content around health and fitness. I do know James Smith. I've met with him before because I am in his business mentorship program. That's a disclaimer there for you, but I've always resonated with his authenticity and realness and just honesty about a variety of topics in health and fitness. And he made this post on his YouTube channel essentially describe, and you can see the snapshot of it here in this video, essentially walking through what his morning was like from 6 a.m. the moment he woke up to about 7:32 and all the shit that he went through in the morning. Essentially, the takeaway is there is no morning routine for him. And this kind of brings me to my point of, are really fitness routines realistic for the majority of people? We all know that, yes, it would be nice to have a quote unquote morning routine. And when I saw that post, I was immediately reminded of, and I thought right away about my morning routine. And needless to say, there is no morning routine for me. Let me walk you through it. So at 6 a.m., I woke up. My wife wakes me up to take over our 2-year-old because my wife is heading to work. And he decided to also wake up with her at 6 a.m. because he thought it was a really good idea. And so between 6 to 7:30, I am half asleep, half awake while my 2-year-old watches something on the phone. And I know that's not great, is it? But he was watching something on the phone so that the other two can sleep, my 7-year-old and my 4-year-old, so they can still be asleep and he's not waking them up. At 7:30, I woke up, I got ready, I started waking my kids up and got them ready. And during that period of time, my 4-year-old decides that he wants to throw a fit because the 2-year-old took off a superhero ornament from the Christmas tree. I think it was a Spider-Man or maybe it was an Iron Man. He took off one of the ornaments to play with. The 4-year-old was okay with it at the time, but when the 2-year-old was done playing with it, I was already upstairs in the bathroom with the kids getting them ready, my older one and my youngest one, and the 4-year-old throwing a fit because he wanted me to come downstairs so I could put the ornament on, and I wanted him to come upstairs so I can get him dressed, and then together we'll go downstairs and put the ornament on the Christmas tree. Again, needless to say, he wasn't having it. Eventually, he begrudgingly listened to me and he came upstairs, he got dressed, and then I got them ready. By 8:45 to 30, they were ready. They dropped them off at the bus stop, the daycare, the school, and then I had to rush over to a training session that I had with a client at 10. I say all that to highlight the fact that I didn't have morning routine. I didn't wake up at 5 a.m. to journal and to meditate and to take a cold shower or a cold plunge and to get my workout in or to go run 16 miles. I didn't do any of that. That's the reality. I think it's the reality for me and it's the reality for most people. Now, listen, I'm not saying that morning routines are useless or pointless or that you shouldn't have a morning routine. I think having some morning routine is probably beneficial for you, especially if you are going to have a morning routine, let it be something like where you either pray, meditate, or journal, reflect on and show some gratitude for the things that you have. I think that's beneficial. But if you can't do it, it doesn't make you a failure and it doesn't make you less successful and less able to achieve your health goals. And that's the thing that drives me crazy about these morning routines is that they're simply just unrealistic and unattainable for the majority of people. Look, it's great if you're able to do something in the morning for yourself, whether it's working out, whether it's journaling or meditating or praying, whatever it is that you're able to do, then that would be wonderful and amazing. But just realize that the bar has been set so damn high in terms of all the things that you got to do for a morning routine that it's unachievable for the majority of people. And I'm saying that as a coach, like a perfect morning routine is unattainable for me. Like a perfect morning routine for me would be ideally, I'd be able to wake up early enough to meditate maybe and to journal. And maybe I'd be able to work out and do all these things, and that would be wonderful if I'm able to do all these, but I'm not because I've got 3 kids that I've got to take care of and drop off on most days. My wife goes to work early in the morning. Some days she doesn't, but got to take care of 3 kids, got to get them ready, got to drop them off at school, got to walk the dog sometimes, especially on days like today where my wife didn't get a chance to walk our dog. So I had to, after getting the kids ready and after everything and coming back home, when I came back home is when I walked the dog. So I say all that to just make the point that, look, morning routines, if you're able to do them, that's great. But if you can't, then that's also okay. You don't need to be hard on yourself because you didn't work out, you didn't meditate, you didn't pray, you didn't journal, you didn't do a cold plunge, you didn't whatever else you think you ought to do. And because you didn't do it, it means you're a failure and you're never going to achieve your health goals. And in the broader sense, you're never going to achieve any of your goals. I just don't think it's realistic for most people. I think if you're able to do something in the morning for yourself, I love it. That's absolutely great. But if you're not, then that's okay. And it doesn't mean that you're failing. And it doesn't mean that you suck. And it doesn't mean that you're never going to be in shape and you're never going to be healthy or you're never going to have money or you're never going to be successful. I think it's like just learning to go through the motions in life in terms of taking the moments as they come. And if you aren't able to have a perfect morning routine, I believe it's okay. Am I not achieving the things I want to achieve because I don't have a morning routine in place? Probably not. Would I like to have a morning routine in place? Sure. Is it realistic for me? Not really. Not really. So it really is context dependent. And what is your situation? What is your work life like? What is your personal responsibility / personal life like? And look at that and see, hey, can I insert something here? Can I take care of myself in a morning routine? Is it possible for me? And if not, then am I going to be stressing out about it? And I think maybe that's the takeaway from all this rambling is that does ultimately what these ridiculous fitness morning routines set such a high bar, such a high standard for what you ought to be doing in the morning that you get stressed out because you aren't doing the exact morning routine that some influencer you saw on TikTok or Instagram do. And that stresses you out because you can't do it. And you're like, oh shit, now man, I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to be fit. I'm not going to have the body I want. I'm not going to have the money I want. And I just think it just creates an unhealthy attachment to the idea of what your life or what your morning routine should be like. And I think you should let go of all conceptions or a notion about how you ought to live your life and how you ought to approach your health. And I think you should do what is doable for you in this current stage of your life. So if you are not able to do a cold plunge, work out, meditate, journal, read 1,000 pages in a couple of books, all before 9 a.m. If you can't do it, then it's okay. Just find the gaps, find the space, find the time to carve out a little bit for yourself, whether that's in the morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're able to do something nice for yourself, whether it's meditating, whether it's journaling, whether it's going outside on a walk, whether it's spending time with someone you love and care for, whether it's hitting the gym or going on a run, whenever you could do it during the day, then do it. Because that's ultimately what matters is the consistency. The morning routines don't matter so much. What matters most is being consistent. So being consistent with working out, being consistent with eating, being consistent with sleeping well, all these things matter most, consistency matters most. It's not the morning routines. And I'm quite frankly sick of the morning routines that I've seen on social media because I just don't think they're realistic for the majority of people. And I think in the long run, it creates unhealthy expectations for what you ought to be doing instead of just looking at your life and seeing what you're capable of doing and what is doable for you. Sorry for the long ramble, but hopefully this was helpful. Comment below. Let me know, what are your thoughts? Do you have a morning routine? Would you like to have a morning routine? Have you tried morning routine? And let me know. Maybe I'm just crazy and losing my mind and think that it's absolutely doable and achievable to have a morning routine, and I just miserably suck at it. And therefore, because I don't have a morning routine, I'm a complete and utter failure and a loser because I'm not able to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and hop in a cold shower, a cold plunge, and work out and go on a run and meditate and read and journal and all this shit before my kids wake up. So maybe I'm just crazy and maybe I'm a complete failure because I'm not able to have a sustainable and consistent morning routine. But I'd love to hear what you think. Take care.